Macron calls nationalism a betrayal of patriotism during Armistice Day remarks.
Here's a summary of the article.
French President Emmanuel Macron tore into nationalism in an apparent jab at during his Armistice Day remarks in Paris. Speaking Sunday at the Arc de Triomphe beside Trump and other world leaders, Macron decried nationalism as a betrayal of patriotism. Patriotism is the exact opposite of nationalism, Macron said. Nationalism is a betrayal of patriotism. By saying our interests first, we erase what a nation holds dearest, what gives it life, what gives it grace, and what is essential, its moral values. Advertisement. Trump has faced criticism for referring to himself as a nationalist, comments that he doubled down on last week during a press conference. Macron's comments on Sunday came after the White House cancelled Trump's planned visit to a U.S. military cemetery in northern France due to bad weather. Upon landing in Paris days earlier, Trump also knocked Macron in a tweet, calling the French president's suggestion of a true, European army to defend itself without relying on the U.S. very insulting.
This post received a score of 62,773, with an upvote ratio of 71%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The opposition between the two is discussed in some detail in George Orwell's Notes on Nationalism. It is an interesting essay. And #X200B.
You can see his definition of patriotism is very much in line with modern-day nationalism. Modern-day nationalism is defensive in nature, it's about preservation and self-determination. Orwell's definition of nationalism is that it is expansionist, a quest for ever-increasing power at the expense of others. You can see that this is not the definition of nationalism that is used colloquially today.
The difference between patriotism and nationalism is that the patriot is proud of his country for what it does, and the nationalist is proud of his country no matter what it does. The first attitude creates a feeling of responsibility, but the second a feeling of blind arrogance that leads to war. Sidney J. Harris.
It's much simpler than this. The difference between patriotism and nationalism is the same as the difference between pride and arrogance.
Well done.
Patriotism is when love of your own people comes first. Nationalism, when hate for people other than your own comes first. Charles de Gaulle.
This quote is particularly amusing because de Gaulle was notorious for hating the British and Americans.
He did not want the UK to join the EU (EEC) at the time because he saw the UK as a Trojan horse of the US in Europe. He vetoed twice, in 1963 and in 1967. They finally joined in 1973, after de Gaulle's death.
I'm sure he would appreciate the irony of seeing them leaving on their own volition 45 years later.
Liberty, equality, fraternity.
France's national motto: liberty, equality, fraternity.
I always thought it was wine, cheese and baguettes.
Du pain, du vin, du boursin.
Du hast.
Du hast mich.
Du hast mich gefragt.
Du hast mich gefragt. Du hast mich gefragt, und ich hab nichts, gesagt. Willst du bist der Tod uns scheide.
Nationalists see their country like a child sees his mother, while patriots see their country like a loving parent sees their child. I love her more than myself and I am willing to make sacrifices so that my child is the best she can be. If she takes actions that is becoming of a child I do not want her to be, I am more than entitled as well as responsible to confront her and be a stern critic. I will, or rather, I have to as matter of duty, make her the best she can possibly be.
This really explains why Trump supporters love calling Trump Daddy and God Emperor.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.